Hey you guys, hope you're doing well. Hope everybody's healthy. Hope distance learning is super fun and exciting for you. No, hopefully the relaxed. Hopefully it's more relaxed. Hopefully it's more flexible in your schedule. Hopefully you're enjoying some of the benefits to it. It's tough to be as engaging, and I think if your teachers haven't told you, we miss those interactions with you guys in the hallways and the classroom and everything that goes along with it. So we are all trying our best, and hopefully things are working out okay for you. Now, as you probably saw in the update and on Schoology, make sure you're letting me know if there is a group member who is not connecting, that is not engaging, because I'll take them out of your group so you just don't have to worry about them. All right. Also, I'll do a live Zoom on Thursday to answer any questions. Again, that was on Schoology as well. But I did want to do a little video explanation. Here's our schedule. Hopefully you're taking a look at that to see what's coming up and stuff. Today, our focus is going to be looking at influences. All right. How do people, things, different things influence our decision making? If you think back to Wellness One, you talked about decision making a little bit, and you kind of talked about this. Now let's actually take that idea and apply it to the situations that we're looking at in Wellness 2. All right. And so if you go to your running document that you've got with your group, all right, we're going to scroll down to where it says influences. How might the following things impact or influence someone struggling with your topic? What messages might they receive from these influencers, right? And influences that are outside themselves, okay? But maybe these folks have influenced their mindset, what they think about things, other OPOs, right? Other people's opinions. That is something, especially in high school, that a lot of people concern themselves with. I don't think that's a good thing. It's a bad idea to do that. You don't have any business in what other people think about you. Like, that should not matter. What is the most important thing is what feels right to you, and doing things that align with your values and priorities. But it's hard. And it's hard to make every decision just based on that. You're just getting to know yourself and figuring that out of what's important and what are your values and priorities. So a lot of times you just kind of go with the flow and go with, what other people are doing, especially if you haven't figured that out for yourself yet. So it's tough. So it's really important that there are a lot of things that influence our decisions and our choices. If there weren't, companies, advertising agencies wouldn't make billions of dollars every year because they know they can influence us. All right. So let's take a look at the different categories here. Um, so you are going to brainstorm as many things as possible. All right. So how might a family influence if you have the topic of depression? Right. So maybe if there's a family member who's struggled with a mental illness, maybe even depression, maybe they're sending supportive messages of like noticing it right away, being able to intervene, take you to the doctor, get you in therapy, and say that those things are normal, those things are okay, that they're helpful, blah, blah, blah. All right. Maybe a different family who hasn't really had much experience might have some stereotypical and some stigma things related. So that might actually hurt someone who's struggling with depression because they might be afraid to share what they're going through with their family because they feel like they might disappoint their parents, right? They might feel like a failure or something. These are things that students have told me when we talked about, that I think it's important that you tell your parents. And these are concerns and worries. And, 9.8% or 9.8 times out of 10, their concerns are way off base. All right, their parents just want them to be happy. Their parents just want them to be healthy. And a lot of it falls too on how educated are the parents. Are the parents, believing things that we thought were true 20 years ago and have found to be very different now? So a lot of different things might come into play here. But a list of messages that family members might send to someone. Okay, whether it's depression, bipolar, somebody's being bullied or someone is the bully, someone's not getting enough sleep, all right, somebody's feeling lonely because of quarantine, whatever the topic might be, All right. So, and one thing with the topic of nutrition and physical activity, obviously, if somebody, and maybe not obviously, but if somebody is severely, with all these mental illnesses, there's like a spectrum, right? You have like minor, right, to severe, minor depression to severe depression, minor bipolar to severe bipolar, okay? And so when we're talking about diet and exercise, that is not something that's going to treat severe mental illness. All right. That is something that is helps to manage minor mental illness. Okay. And so keep that in mind. All right. But think about, so if you have that topic, think about somebody who's got a minor degree, right? It's minor, some sort form of mental illness. Okay. All right. How do their peers and friends influence them? Teammates, classmates, things they hear people say in the back of the room, right? Things that get thrown up on social media, positive and negative. Think about all the different messages somebody might receive from this group of people. How about other adults? Not just maybe family members, but teachers, coaches, if they have a job, maybe a coworker or a boss, okay? Growing up, our neighbors, we had a super tight knit group of neighbors. Okay, those adults who lived in those houses right around mine were super influential for me. Okay, so if they would say something that talked poorly or talked positively about one of these issues, if I was dealing with it, that would have had a large effect on me. Okay. All right, think about social media. Again, positive and negative, what messages might that send? Okay, ads, things on TV shows, movies, YouTube, et cetera, et cetera. All right, what are messages they might get from those types of sources? All right, ATOD, alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs. How might these influence decisions and behaviors of someone struggling with that? So let's take, for example, the sleep one, all right, the sleep topic. Um, Perhaps, alcohol and other drugs, tobacco, nicotine is a stimulant in vaping and tobacco, different forms of tobacco. So that would affect the their quality of sleep. Okay, caffeine affects quality of sleep. All right, alcohol affects quality of sleep. It actually keeps people from being able to go into REM, which is a very restorative aspect of sleep. It's a really important phase that you go into when you sleep at night. So not getting into that affects your physical and mental health. All right. So think about mental illness. Maybe someone with anxiety starts drinking or using drugs to self-medicate because they don't want to feel, they want to shut off their brain or something along those lines. So what does that look like a few months later or a year later or a few years later? Okay, so how might these things affect someone struggling with your topic? All right, how about their culture? Okay, how does that affect things that are going on? I think about mental illness, and I think about a student who I was helping who was suicidal, had severe depression, and was extremely concerned about her parents finding out because of the culture that she was a part of. That she thought that this would bring a lot of shame, all right, upon her in the eyes of her parents. And I tell you, our administration and our counselors were fantastic. They did need to reach out because she was suicidal. So there were threats of suicide. And so that is one of the confidentiality breakers. All right, if you threaten to hurt someone else or yourself, and she did. But our administration, our counselors were very receptive and understood her concerns. And so what they did when they talked to her parents, they talked about her stress level and that they thought therapy, and we have a therapist that comes in, to school at Eastview. They wanted to get her set up, seeing this person to get some help. And so they talked to the parents about how much that therapy and that therapist would be able to help her with her stress level and all the different things she was, trying to do well in school and all the different pressures that she was dealing with. And her parents were completely supportive. Okay. And being able to see that therapist helped her so much. All right. She was in a far better place just a couple of months later, even. And so made some great strides with that. But had some culture things that affected her that she didn't feel like she could lean on her family and talk about her depression and her anxiety. Okay, so think about different cultures, different expectations, just the U.S. as a culture in and of itself and society, some stigmas that might be associated with your topic, etc. All right, so that is the part that you are working on today. Again, the calendar, you can see where we're going with this. Next week, we'll spend some time with the study guide, and there's some slideshows to help you answer the study guide questions that are related to your topic. And then you're going to put all the information that we've talked about so far, that you've researched so far, on a website, and we'll finish that website up by the end of next week. Then you're going to look at each other's websites to answer all your study guide questions for the midterm. And then you're going to start creating a PSA, all right, a video. You're going to make a video public service announcement with your team, with your group. And then we're going to watch all of those. And before you know it, we'll be taking the midterm exam in a couple of weeks, all right, in just a few weeks. So that is what is coming up, okay? Please keep reaching out. You can email with your @apps account your partners. Hopefully you've got a group snap or a group text message going, or using GroupMe. Some groups are using the app GroupMe to be able to communicate with the people in your group. I would do a live Zoom with your group members at least once a week, if not twice a week. And even if it's just for 10 minutes, right? Showing them what you've done and explaining it, and then giving them a chance to do the same, talking about what's coming up and how you want to split up the work and stuff. All right. So make sure, again, on this research doc, you're putting down the initials of anyone, or first name even is fine, of who's doing what, who's contributing to each of these things. All right. So that'll help with the grading. So be honest. All right. Be honest. Be honest. That should be it. Tune into the Zoom if you need to. If you've got questions, your whole group doesn't need to show up. You can just have one person from your group show up and then report back to everybody else. Otherwise, enjoy your long weekend. Get outside, go for a jog, meditate. I don't know, plant something, get in the dirt. I don't know, get your hands dirty, draw, color, all those things that you practiced last week. All right. Try something new, try something different, read outside. And I don't even know what the weather's going to be like, but if it's nice enough, get outside, get some vitamin D, and relax a little bit as well. Take some you time during this long weekend. All right, thanks you guys. Have a good one.